Welcome back, Husker fans. Thank you for joining us on the Blackshirt Alert Show. I am your host, TK. With me, as always, is Greg.
Hey, everybody.
Greg, this extends our longest win streak of the season to 2.
Wow. Can't believe it.
That sounds weird to say, but honestly, I couldn't be happier.
Man, it feels good, you know. We beat Rutgers like we were supposed to do.
Yeah. And, Greg, here's the thing. During the game, things got a little shaky at times, and you kind of thought, oh boy, here we go again.
There were a few moments like that, yeah.
But we pulled through, and that's what it's about. I think they kind of took Rutgers a little lightly after that big win, but they came out, they did what needed to be done, they took care of business, they got the W.
Absolutely. Bring it on home for Iowa.
Which, speaking of Iowa, we do need to beat Iowa to become bowl eligible.
Now, see, I've heard we do and we don't. So what's the real story behind that, Trav?
The real story is there's so many bowl games. There's 40 bowls, and the chances of us making a bowl game, even at 5-7, good. Not great, good. But if you go 6-6, you're guaranteed a bowl spot. So that's why they say you're bowl eligible.
Right on. I heard something about 5-7. I heard somebody even saying we could get into like the Pinstripe Bowl in New York City and all kinds of crazy stuff. But
yeah,
let's just win and not worry about it.
The thing, they're not good bowls, but they're bowls, and we need those extra practices. It's like 18 extra practices. You're still breaking in a new coach, new system, new offense, new defense. It is important to get to a bowl game. So hopefully, even if we don't beat Iowa, we get to a bowl game. But it would really be nice to beat another undefeated team late in the season.
Absolutely, and kind of just I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy that's like, yeah, we need to go like ruin somebody's season, but I feel pretty sweet to beat up on Iowa and kind of ruin what they got cooking because I don't think they're as good as what their rating says.
Well, what they got cooking is if they win out, they're in the playoff.
Absolutely.
So we beat them, we wreck their season, like it's over for them.
Now let's say we beat them, we beat Iowa, and then let's say they go on and beat Ohio State. They're still out.
I would imagine yes. You can't really say, Iowa deserves to be in there when they lost to a 6-6 Nebraska team.
Right.
And they haven't really beaten anyone worth talking about. They really haven't. Like their schedule, they had the weakest schedule in the Big Ten. All intents and purposes, it's a joke of a schedule.
Yeah, I looked through it last night. It's, I was going on some of the Iowa forums last night, and man, first off, they really hate Nebraska, and they really hate our fans. They are just, I don't want to get in a pissing match with these people, but man, some of these people really just can't stand Nebraska.
And they should hate us because we are everything that they want to be. We're a blue blood. We're one of the best programs in the history of college football. We've won countless national championships. We've won 46, 48 conference titles. Like, Iowa has nothing on Nebraska. They don't like that. They can't stand that.
A lot of Iowa fans think that they have 2 quality wins. I don't see really any quality wins, Trav.
They don't have a quality win.
No, they don't. They think they have 2. They beat Northwestern. They consider that a quality win.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. They beat Northwestern and they beat Wisconsin, and they think that those 2 teams right there are like the epitome of their season.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Those are not good teams.
No, not at all.
If Nebraska's ranked top 25, but at the bottom half of those teams, I don't consider that to be a good team. I really don't.
I'll tell you, with the way Nebraska's playing, the way we're playing right now, if we could turn back the clock and take this team the way we're playing right now and play Wisconsin, we beat Wisconsin, we beat Northwestern. You know what I mean, Trev?
Greg, let me say this.
Please.
You take this team, the team that showed up to play and beat Michigan State. Now, here's the thing with Michigan State. They were coming off a bye week. Okay?
Yeah.
They had 2 weeks to prepare for us. They were the healthiest they've been all season, and Nebraska beat them.
Yeah.
If Nebraska plays as good as they played against Michigan State, Iowa State is going to get blown out by Nebraska.
Can't wait.
Iowa, my bad.
Yeah, Iowa. Yep. Cannot wait for next Friday, bro.
And Greg, the reason why I compare Iowa to Iowa State is because they're basically the same program. They just wear different colors.
Yeah, I mean, they're both equally as boring.
They have delusions of grandeur. That's what it is. They think that they're better than they really are.
They do, and they're not. And I don't want to just make this show just a rag on Iowa the whole time, but man, they really think they're hot shit, bro, and they ain't. They ain't.
Greg, here's the thing. And I've said this before. A win's a win, yes. Okay, do not get me wrong. A win is a win, and if I was in Iowa shoes right now, I'd be tickled pink. I'd be running around telling everyone, "Hey, we're back. We're the best team in the Big Ten." Reality is they're not. The reality is, are they a good team? Yes. Are they a great team? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I commend them for the season that they're having, but that's about it. I have little to no respect for Iowa. I said it. I said it.
No,
With that said,
totally
Greg,
agree with you, bro. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
With that said, we have some major announcements.
Yes, we do.
This is going to be a very short show because we will be moving to weekend shows. And Greg, you have something of a little announcement to make. You don't want to reveal too much, but go ahead and just kind of let the viewers know what's cooking up with the brand that is Blackshirt Alert.
Guys, we have some huge news. I can't give it away quite yet, but believe me when I say we have an announcement that I think, Trav, maybe I'm like one of those Iowa fans. Maybe I'm thinking too highly of this, but I'm thinking this announcement we have is going to shake up online media and online Husker sports, and we can't reveal it yet, but believe us when we say we got something hot cooking. Trav,
Greg, I've seen a little demo of it. I love it. I love where it's going. Can't wait to see it in its entirety. It's going to be special.
It's something extreme. I mean, we're taking Husker sports and the interactivity of it. I know this is cliche to say, taking it to the next level, but I mean, we are really pushing the boundaries of how far we can go with this whole thing. So stay tuned for major news from the Blackshirt Alert Show. Trav?
Greg, one thing I want to talk about when it comes to Iowa is, we're going to have a bye week.
Yeah.
They do not have that luxury. And in all fairness, this bye week couldn't come at a better time. We need to get healthy. We need to rest up. We need to kind of, calm our senses and just get back to some fundamentals and hopefully come out swinging like we did in our past 2 games.
Yeah, totally, man.
What I want to know, one thing is, Greg, if we do win and beat Iowa, do you consider it a successful season, regular season?
I think so, kinda. I'd rather beat the two. Iowa and Michigan State are the 2 best teams that we play this year, and if we can beat those 2 teams, I'm happy. I'm satisfied going forward. I'm not going to be as upset as I was earlier in the year with just the loss after loss to bad teams. Is it a successful season? No, but it's enough to have something to build on for next year. Am
Greg,
I wrong?
Greg, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, when after our mind blown of a loss to Purdue, me and you were hot.
Oh, absolutely.
We were beyond pissed. Because there's no excuses to ever lose to a team like that.
And it wasn't just us, man. I mean, it was all Husker Nation.
But if we do beat Iowa, do you stand by your claim that we should fire Mike Riley?
No. My opinion's changed. The thing is, opinions are changing week to week with this program. I mean, we've seen some pretty rocky Husker teams, but I mean, this thing is a roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
You go from losing to Purdue to beating Michigan State. My mind is still blown. So
I feel you, man.
No, I don't. I mean, I take that back, obviously. But in that moment, I was pissed. And so was Husker Nation. And, everybody's cooled down now. I mean, if you turn back the clock and look at some of the posts on the forums and on Twitter and stuff, what people were saying, man.
Greg, I would say a lot of it completely justified.
Yeah.
Like, you can make excuses to lose to Purdue, a fluke Hail Mary pass. You can make excuses for that.
Yeah.
You can make excuses for, Wisconsin scoring, the closing minutes of the game to beat you. You can make excuses for Northwestern to do the same. You cannot make excuses to lose to Purdue. But we did.
We did, and there's just still no excuse, Trev. It doesn't make sense. I don't know what, lose to BYU on the Hail Mary, okay. The Illinois game, I mean, that thing was a mess at the end. But the Purdue, I mean, there is just no excuse. Don't want to keep beating up the team about the Purdue game, but I just can't. My mind has still not processed exactly what happened there.
But Greg, one of the reasons why I've grown fond of this Nebraska team is because they did come back and they fought and beat an undefeated Michigan State team that was ranked top 10 in the country.
Absolutely. And I honestly think, Trav, this team is not as bad as it looks. I know we hate on the people who say, oh, our team could have been this, could have been that for other teams. But here's the thing. If just a few little things would have went our way here and there, we would be looking on paper a lot better team, our record-wise. So, no, man.
Greg, we're not where I want to be as a team. And that, for obvious reason, I mean, we're 5-6. But the thing is, with this team, they fight hard, and what we've heard is we've heard that talent has dropped off. Well, I don't see that talent has dropped off. I don't see it. You don't lose to Purdue. And let me tell you something, that is a fluke. That is a fluke game. That's a game that just we didn't look like we cared.
You know what, Trav?
You don't come out and you don't pretty much physically beat. I mean, we physically beat Michigan State. We ran the ball down their throat. If you don't have talent, you don't win that game. We have talent.
Oh, totally, man. All over the field we have talent. We heard from Adam Carricker earlier this year. He said that he told us that he heard. He didn't name names, but he heard that there were some people that from inside the locker room. He was hearing that not all the players have bought into the Mike Riley system yet, and some of them were still pissed off. About Bo leaving.
Right.
So I think it just took some time for everybody to kind of get on board, with the Mike Riley system. Now, one thing I do stand by, Trav, is the head coach. He has to be strong, and he has to, kind of put his foot down, and he has to truly love and appreciate Nebraska football. He can't. Doesn't matter who it is. You can't just be here for a paycheck.
Right.
Okay. Bill Callahan was here for a paycheck. Okay. We need.
I still stand by the fact that I think Scott Frost would be a good head coach because he truly, has deep roots to
He
Nebraska.
understands the embodiment of everything Husker football.
Absolutely. So I think if Mike Riley can, truly appreciate everything, he has potential to be a good coach. And to answer the question we've been asking everybody the whole season, he might be the guy to be able to get us going in the right direction.
Greg, I like Mike Riley, and I do think that this program can go into a direction that is positive. My whole thing with Mike Riley is not that he's a good or bad coach, because I think he is a good coach.
Yeah.
Is he going to be the guy to do the things that were said when we hired him? That he's going to win us conference titles. He's going to get us in the conference, mix and be one of the top dogs. He's going to get us into the college football playoff. That's the Mike Riley I'm not sure that we have. I'm not sold on his ability to do that because he hasn't been consistent to be a winner anywhere he's ever been. It's never been consistent. Nebraska's about consistency. I mean, this is our worst season in 65 years.
Right.
So it's a little mind-numbing, and it's still a little bit of a cat and mouse game to kind of see where we are and if these players are bought in. I think they're starting to, and I think we've seen that the last couple weeks. Hopefully, like I said, we heal up, we get healthy, we practice hard, and we just lay it all out on that field and try to knock off an undefeated Iowa team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'll tell you what, looking forward, we have a lot of players coming back for 16. Now, I know a lot of other teams have good players coming back, but we're really not losing a whole lot. We're losing Amani Cross. He's a great player. But the core of the team is still coming back next year, 16. And, they're going to be kind of dialed into the Mike Riley system. We still need to run the ball more, Trav. I think it's inexcusable, some of the play calling this year, and I 100% stand by that, as I think you do too. You have to run the ball more.
You have to, and that's one of my biggest issues with this staff is, they want to pass the ball. They want, a pro-style offense. Here's the thing. That's great and all, okay? By all means, run the pro-style offense. But you have to be physical at a place like Nebraska. You have to.
Yeah.
We have a tradition of, dominating both lines,
smash mouth, smash mouth, balls to the wall, boot to the throat style football.
We want to basically suffocate the other team. We want to hit them so hard that they can't breathe in the fourth quarter. And you can't really do that with these dinky-dunk passes.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Trev.
I like Tommie Armstrong. I think he's a solid quarterback. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's great. He's way too inconsistent to be either or. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, he is off. And you can't consider a player good just because of the first-string quarterback in Nebraska. That doesn't make a quarterback good.
Right.
They have to win, and they have to be consistent. And Tommie's not either. But what he is a good leader.
No, I agree with that.
And we have to be able to get these players in positions where they can be successful. But Tommie has to understand that if a play's not there, throw the ball away.
Yeah, he has a real problem with that. Yeah.
And
he tries to force plays.
He does, and he always wants to throw down the field.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And 9 times out of 10, he's out of the pocket, and he's off balance, and it's usually a mess. I think every interception he's thrown this year, he's been out of pocket, kind of rushed, and instead of just throwing the ball away, he presses the issue.
Tries to make a play, and
when there's no play to be had.
When he threw that ball on the screen to the linebacker, I was just like, "Are you kidding me?"
I know.
Are you kidding me? Like he's got to understand that if the play's not there, don't force it. because bad things can happen, and bad things have been happening.
I'd also like to see him. I'd also like to see maybe the coaches get on him a little bit. It's okay to run. There's a lot of times I see, he has wide open running space, and he'll still kind of hang around and look for an open receiver, and it's like, man, just take off, bro.
Right. He, he's getting much needed experience in this offense. Next year, I think he'll play a lot better. And from last year to this year, he's improved in areas, but I think he's also kind of regressed a little bit in areas. Because now, when he can pick up, 5, 6, 10 yards, he tries to just throw the ball downfield. And, those 5, 6, 10 yards that we could really use are better than throwing the ball downfield and risking an incompletion or an interception.
Absolutely.
So I want to see Tommie just be consistent and play smart. That's one thing he struggles with. If he can just play smart, he's good.
Totally. One of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten when he's on.
But when he's off, he's just. I scratch my head and I just wonder, what's he doing? And a lot of that, like I said, it's the position that he's put in. They want to pass the ball all over the field. At Nebraska, you can't do it, Greg. Can you?
No, you can't. That's not in our DNA, bro.
So,
am I wrong?
You're definitely not wrong.
Here's what I think, Trev. We should be able, when we run the ball, we should be able to get 5 or 6 yards every down, consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Every down, 5 or 6 yards, and then every now and then let one rip. The runner breaks free. That's the kind of football that I grew up watching with Nebraska, and that's the way I think it still should be, because that works for us.
Greg, this kind of reminds me of the 99 season.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I take that back. The 98 season. Osborne just left. It's Frank Soldiers' first year, and he's running the offense, and halfback dive, draws, you name it, and we were getting 3 and 4 yards every carry, and people were they were flipping out we're only getting 4 yards a carry. What are you doing? Well, that's fine. You run the ball 3 times. What do you get? You get a first down.
Right.
That's all you need is those 4 yards. Just keep getting 4 yards, play after play. You don't need big, long runs. You don't need them. If you can just run the ball, get 4 yards a carry, because that's what we were doing against Michigan State.
Right.
We'd hand the ball off, boom, 4 yards. That puts you in second manageable. You run the ball again, boom, 4 yards. So now you're at 3rd and 2. The options to convert on 3rd and 2 are much better than 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 10. That's one thing we struggle with is we get in 3rd and long situations and we don't convert.
Trav, I got a question I want to ask you.
I probably have an answer.
I don't want to switch gears on you, but I want to ask you before I forget, because it wasn't something we talked about before the show. What about Bo Pelini and his outburst at Youngstown State last weekend?
Enjoy, Youngstown. He is our gift to you. Am I right?
No, man, absolutely. What was up with that, man? He blew a gasket again.
Dude, look, I love Bo Pelini's fire.
Yeah.
I think he's a good coach. But holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Just...
Why?
You're paid to do a job. Be professional about it. Greg, if you were to go to work, right? Let's just say you went to work.
Yeah.
You had a bad day.
Right.
And you just started flipping out. What would happen? You'd get fired.
Fired, man.
You have to be professional when you're under a spotlight. And here's the thing. Bo Pelini, he's not a great coach, but he's a good coach. And the media loves him because there's always going to be a story on him anytime Youngstown loses. Every time Nebraska lost, there's usually some outburst that he did, and ESPN or Fox or whoever would play it. And it's just like, what? Head coach at Nebraska blows another gasket. Well, you know what? it's time to be professional. Like, be fire and passion on the sidelines, but for goodness sakes, man.
Guys, if you want a good laugh, go on YouTube and look at the Youngstown State YouTube page and watch the Bo Pelini post game press conference from last weekend. Oh boy! I mean, that will bring you back flashbacks. I mean, it's hilarious. Just go watch it on YouTube. It's great.
Greg,
Yeah, Trav.
Bo Pelini's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. He provides comedy, but it's not the comedy that you're proud of when you're a part of it. It's something that you can kind of look at from afar and point and be like, look at that tool.
Yeah, it's kind of like face palm. Oh man.
It's just now I know what the other fan bases around the country thought when he was our head coach.
Yeah. You know what though? At times, I really liked him though, Trev.
Look, I love Bo Pelini. I think he's a great guy, but he's got to be professional, and he's not.
At this level, Trav, at this stage in his career, I don't think that's ever going to change for him.
Greg, Nebraska's paying him something like $100,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting paid from Youngstown. You got to be professional.
Well, I mean, we're paying him to go away, so I mean that kind of tells you about the guy.
And we paid a good coach to go away. That's the thing. We did pay a good coach to go away, but he had to go.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Let's just be honest. And sideline antics like that, ridiculous.
Absolutely. Trav, should we discuss the other issue of the week?
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about the
Tommie,
Jordan
Armstrong and
Westerkamps.
Westerkamps?
Yeah. Bring us up to speed on that, Trav.
Greg, I've only done a little bit of research because everything that I've read kind of points to our players being okay. Like, they're not in trouble. But at the same time, I kind of want to be careful talking about it. But please, like, what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I tried to get Steve Sipple on the show tonight to see if he could update us anymore, and wasn't able to get him on tonight. Didn't work out, but I did hear his interview on 93.7 earlier today, and he basically had no update. The only thing he knew was what's being reported in the Omaha papers. It's concerning that Coach Riley found out about this on Tuesday and this happened on Sunday. That's a problem. And also, the police, I guess, told the police said that that they should be okay.
Right.
Probably going to be okay.
Well, from what I understand, the alleged accuser is not either Tommie Armstrong or Jordan Westerkamp or any football player, but just a guy that was at the house party.
Right. The only thing concerning to me is that they said probably. I mean, that kind of leaves you kind of leave the door open in a crack there for issues, but who knows, man? I know it's a distraction that this team did not need.
Greg, my issue with that is, I understand that you won, you want to celebrate. Do you really need to throw a party an hour after you're back on Nebraska soil? Do you really need to throw a party like that early as soon as you get home from the airport?
Man, I'll tell you what, if it seems a little early, I'd be thinking more about smashing some Taco Bell and going to bed. You know what I mean?
I hope our players are not eating Taco Bell. I hope they're eating a little healthier than that. But I do get the gist of everything that you're saying. My thing is, Greg, and I'm just gonna say it. Like, look, I understand that these players, they want to have fun, they want to party. They want college experience.
Yeah.
I don't like. There's really no. If you want to be great, Greg, you have to dedicate yourself. You have to dedicate yourself to the cause. When I hear things like this, I don't hear that the players are dedicated to the cause, to the program, to the to winning championships.
Right.
the reason why I say that is, like I said, like not even an hour.
Yeah,
When they get back, they're
season's
throwing a
almost
party.
over. Yeah.
And it's like, guys, you just beat Rutgers. Like, this is nothing. This is nothing to party about. If you wanted to party, you should have done it after Michigan State and called that good.
Or just wait till the season's over. I mean, nothing gets
Wait till the
party.
season's over. Look, when you're playing at a place like Nebraska, you shouldn't be eating Taco Bell. Little pun right there, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't be partying. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be smoking. You shouldn't do anything but dedicate yourself to school and football. That's it.
Trav, absolutely agree. Nothing against, having some fun. You and I, we've had some pretty wild nights in our time. But here's the thing: you can't do it during the football season. Trav, I mean, you and I, we went downtown earlier this year, and we saw a bunch of players downtown.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names, but it's like, man, not now, bro.
Greg, they have to understand that this is not the NFL, okay? You don't get paid to do this.
Right.
You get an education to do this. You get free education. And these scholarships are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No, absolutely. I mean, Trav, I always go back to what Aaron Taylor told us about what Tom Osborne taught him. Always act with integrity, honesty, and respect.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just follow those guidelines, what Tom Osborne taught us, everything's going to be all right. So you can't, I don't know. It's just not a very good idea. But I know they're kids. But
look, I understand that they're kids. They want to party. I get it. But there is a time and a place for it, and it's called the off season. Okay?
Right.
And then, get your partying out. You got a couple months out of the year to get your partying on.
Right.
Once you're done with that, it's back to work. It's back to hitting the weights. It's back to eating healthy. It's back to dedicating yourself to the cause. The cause should always be and always will be at Nebraska championships.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, Greg, I've hung out with a few players, okay?
Sure.
And I've asked them before, like, hey, what's with the parties all the time? And keep in mind, this is when we were not doing good.
Right.
And they says, oh, dude, it's just all part of the college experience. I go, shouldn't championships be part of the program's experience? Like, you are a Husker. Just because you're a Husker doesn't mean that you're privileged to just do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Look at JT Barrett. He gets pulled over for basically drunk driving, and he's pleading with the officers, isn't there anything you can do? I'm the quarterback at Ohio State.
Yeah, it's like, man, these guys, you're not going to get a break cut just because you play for Nebraska. I will tell you that now.
And I'm just thinking, like, when I hear that, I'm just like, are you really that naive, that stupid, that you think that you're entitled to some special treatment because you play football?
Right.
Look, this is when you do that, you don't represent what's great about college football. You represent what's bad about it.
Absolutely.
So it's an unfortunate thing that there's an alleged rape right now, and I think any man that does anything against a woman's will is, for all intents and purposes, a piece of shit.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
And I'm hopeful that none of the players had a hand in any of it, and from so far, all the reports, they're okay for now. There's not enough information for anyone to really know, but it's a sad deal. But I'm glad that they kept themselves clean for the time being.
No, totally, bro.
Greg, with that said, we will have a show this weekend. And we will only do weekend shows from now on.
Yes, that is one of our announcements today.
So, please, guys, join us next week. This is the Blackshirt Alert Show. With me, Greg. We are signing off. Greg, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Nah, just keep the faith, man. Keep on trucking, and the Blackshirt Alert Show keeps rolling on.
Go Big Red.